Welcome. You have made it to the last and final part of the 4 P's. And this challenge I know has been very challenging for your nerves, right? You have made it through pushing in your purpose and then pushing through with the passion. And now you want to know how to get paid from it. Okay, so all these components kind of work together, right? They all you see what you want to do and why you want to do it, and you want to be happy about it, and you kind of weeded all those things out that really were not something that you needed, right? So now we're to the part that now we have to face up to some truths. Now, yeah, we've talked about passion, and you found your passion now. We've talked about your purpose. Now there's the bigger umbrella, and now you find your passion, and now you want to make money. Now, I know that we've always talked about that, and I know I talk about it too much, I think, but that's my specialty, is learning, teaching others about how big their passion is and their purpose is. Okay? So, I want to tell you at least 3 things before we really get started digging into this. Once you have that big umbrella of your purpose and the reason why you roll out of bed, now you fine tuned it to a passion and you believe that you can lend to the world. There's 3 things you have to remember. Believe in yourself. One of the things that always kept me down was the thought I'm not good enough. I would notice how other people were growing around me, advancing, and it seemed that they had more experience and more talent. I realized this was just a way for me to avoid failing at something I love to do. If I never tried, then I could always keep this as a hobby, keep this as a hobby, which is a safe option. But it's not a safe option. It's not a safe option for you because you want to make this a business, right? You want to make it something that is going to be tremendous. When I first started believing in myself and made the decision to pull all the stops out and get my free time kind of strategized and in place, the energy into building a business based on my passions, I knew I wouldn't be able to do it alone. I started taking classes in, whatever that I was, writing, English, you know, um, entrepreneurship, the back end of learning how to set up a business the right way for the IRS, getting my tax ID, getting all these things that I needed to make this a business. I started thinking that it was no longer a hobby, it was a business. So surround yourself. Number 2, surround yourself with positivity. It's not uncommon for successful people to listen to a lot of motivational material. Okay? And surround themselves with people who have accomplished what they want to accomplish. Hang around those people. So, starting a business on your passion is a lot harder if you don't find support. And surround yourself with positive people who believe in what you're doing is possible. You can have some people around you that don't believe that it's possible, that don't believe that what you're doing is going to make you anything. Those are not the people you need to be around. In order to be successful, you need to build a positive mindset and make it priority to do things that will keep your spirits lifted. You'll especially need this during the tough times you encounter while building your business. Now, every thought that you have, I want you to dream big. Harriet Tubman said, "Every great dream begins with a dreamer." Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. Now, this is Harriet Tubman. Okay? Think about where that came from because she believed in herself. It's been a less than maybe 5 years since I've made the decision to put my heart and soul into this endeavor. And even though it hasn't been easy, I finally realized I have something valuable to offer the world. Even though I've had to withstand rejection letters, I've also celebrated many accomplishments. Just the other day, I received an email from a company that, is looking for speakers, and I'd sent it months ago, you know, but they apologized because they don't know how they overlooked it, and they're very excited for me to come on board and speak for them. So things like that are times to be celebrating and getting accomplishments. But if I were afraid to fail, if I didn't believe in myself, if I didn't surround myself with people that really believed in my success, that email would have never came. And then if it even came with a failure, I wouldn't know how to take it. But I now know that I can reach for the stars, even though maybe a teacher of mine may have said, "Oh, you're not going to be nothing," or maybe a teacher of mine just suggested, "You can do this." You'll be pleasantly surprised if you get around people who promote you. Now, if you have some naysayers, you need to not live around them. Follow the passion that's inside of you and be around those people that promote you. Now, let's get into what we talked about is we talked about purpose, right? But I want to talk about how you transition this passion into something you get paid to do, to how to get paid for what you love. Now, I'm a consultant. From time to time, I do work with entrepreneurs, businesses, small businesses, large businesses, and even those that come up with ideas. And I'm always happy to lend my 2 cents. So whatever it's worth. But I think mine is more than 2 cents right now. And I'm sure that there are times when it's not worth 2 cents. But I'm sure at this point, being a consultant, it's worth something. So how can you do something that you love and make a good living at it? This is what this course is all about. This is when you ask yourself those tough questions. And this is the time when you really get advice and get coaching and get guidance when you really don't want it. Yeah, I said it. When you really don't want it and you don't want to ask for it or you think you can't afford it, that's the time when you really want to go for it. That's the time when you have to get it. When you finally get that advice, you're going to start building the business from something that you love. And with a few principles that are fairly universal, you can start. Now, listen, not everything you love makes a good business. In fact, most things you love don't really make a good business. This is probably the most common misconception of the entire follow your passion concept. You love canoeing, you love writing, and you love traveling, for example. So why not build a business around it and do what you love all the time? There's actually several reasons why it isn't always a good idea. One of which is you might not like everything that goes along with running a business as much as you like the actual activity. So that's why we had all the questions that we had prior to this lesson is suss out what you like to do. Sure, you like traveling, but how do you want to work or how you want it to work or how do you feel that you're working and traveling and not getting any fun out of it? How do you make those two things work together? Well, I know somebody that's doing that right to this day, and she's loving it. She's making a business. Her and her husband are making a business, and they are successful because they've used the building blocks. They use the coaching and use the guidance to put those building blocks together. So, do you like the business of crafting or just like crafting itself? That's a question you have to answer. Second, not everything you do is commercially viable. Chances are No one will pay money to watch you canoe. And this brings me to my next point. What you love must be relevant to other people. Now, listen, when I got into counseling, on coaching, I wanted to counsel people who were in trauma, and I wanted to because no one counseled me. And I wanted to do it because I wanted to do it, but I didn't know that it was very difficult, or I didn't remember that it was very difficult when you're dealing with trauma. Not many people want to come forward and start talking about it. So it wasn't commercially viable for me to make the money that I needed. So, whoever your prospects are, your customers or your clients, they have to identify with what you do and believe it can be possible for them as well. That's why you work to find the magic convergence between your passions and what customers will pay for. Okay? And you know I go on and on about this, but I'm not going to repeat myself, but I am going to say you have to be clear about this. You need to solve a problem for the people who pay you. Write that down. It's critical. It's not solving your problem. It's not doing what you love to do, but solve a problem for someone else. That's how you show up for the world. And in fact, the more you can focus on other people's needs and understand how they overlap with the skill you enjoy sharing, that's where the real follow your passion model gains potential. Often you won't get paid for the obvious things, but something related. So we'll go back to the example of me canoeing. I won't get paid for people watching videos of me just canoeing. I'll get paid for inspiring them to do it, educating them to do it, and sometimes even entertaining them. Okay? Preferably, you have to have two out of the three. But if you got all three, you're in business. But one way or another, you'll get paid for helping people, not just being awesome. As much fun as it is, I don't get paid to travel. What I did factor in is my speaking engagements can be part of travel, and I can travel to empower and inspire and educate other people. Therefore, I get travel involved, and it's a building block to actually travel and enjoy traveling to inspire people. Sometimes it helps to separate the business part from the passion, even if the two are ultimately correlated. So let's take health, vitamins. Let's take health and vitamins. Let's just take that. Those are very correlated together, right? How is the main question you have to answer for the business model is what will customers actually pay me for? If I'm selling this vitamin, what will they actually pay me for? It probably isn't what you think it would be unless you're teaching people to be healthy with the vitamin, unless you're teaching them to add the vitamin to drinks, unless you're teaching people that the vitamin or the liquid or whatever it is can be spiced up in a drink, in an ice cream. You're adding something that solves their problem and is very creative. Instead of breaking in somewhere, create your own market. I know that I did. And in the coaching arena, there's so many coaches. And I decided to be the life purpose coach to help you get paid. Because not everyone thinks that life purpose has anything to with getting paid. So I decided I was going to do that. As far as I can tell now, me starting and doing that and writing for Psychology Today and Huffington Post and a couple other small bylines, I was able to get in front of people in a platform that now everyone sees me, and it was free. So I was able to get there. So I didn't have to break in a new area. I figured out what I can do that was already existing but I did it differently than anyone else was doing it. You can waste a lot of time trying to get into an existing system, or you can put the time to good use and build your own system. See, I'm talking about a system, not a platform. Ironically, when you do the latter, it becomes easier to break into the original system as you go along. It becomes easier. Once you create your own system, it becomes easier to get into that system. The other thing to remember is keep startup costs very low. Someone asked me the other day, if you had $1,000 to start over with any business, how would you spend it? And I said, I would get $10 domain name, a free WordPress installation, and a PayPal account. Then I would set up a one-page site and see what I could do with it. If it looked promising, there was plenty of things I could spend the remaining $990 on. I'd probably start with design and marketing. But the point is, I would first make sure I had some kind of viable idea. I would test it out and make sure it was viable before I start spending lots of money. If you can start something without spending a lot of money, that's best. If you have if you have it to invest, that's fine. That's okay too. But the worst thing you can do is spend a lot of money and do nothing. Don't do that. Find a way to make it work just a little. When it comes to a lifestyle business, because that's what this really is. When it comes to lifestyle business, a little momentum goes a long way. The sooner you can get paid, even a small amount or a one time sale, the better. The greatest benefit of a lifestyle business is freedom. But usually we find the freedom that does not appear out of nowhere. It requires a shift in mindset and a corresponding action. It also sometimes requires a surprising amount of work. If you love something, you protect it. Now, listen, this disclaimer is not intended to dissuade you. Overall, I think that this is a fantastic time to start a business and find a way to get paid for what you love to do. Don't hold back. Just make sure your head is on the with the right direction. Make sure you have the mindset. Make sure you have the support. Make sure you have a viable idea. As I see it, the right direction begins with taking action. Okay? And if you have finished this course and you've done all that you need to do, and you still need a little bit more support, I'm here at a 4 week, a 8 week, and a 12 week package. I can help you get where you need to go, whether it be life purpose coaching to finally, kind of finite what you really want to do with your life, or whether you know what you're going to do and you need to put those building blocks together to make it excel, to make it be viable to the customers you work with, or the clients, or the prospects. Either way, I'm available to you. So, thank you for taking this course. I know you could have been doing a whole lot of other things, but I thank you for taking it. I'm really excited to see and to meet some of you in a 4, 8, or 12 week program. And remember, I'm always here for you. I'm available. My name is Edna White, and I am signing off from this course. Have a great one. I can't